Alright, we're playing Alone in the Dark. The demo, the prologue. Let me give this a quick click. How's this one looking? Looks good. Options, gameplay, all good. Controls, all good. Audio, all good. Display adjust, that seems fine. Video, DLS, VSync off, firmware unlimited, epic everything. Okay. That looks good to me. Start the game. Dolls are creepy. Dolls are always creepy. You know what? It's not that dolls are creepy. It's that creepy dolls are creepy. Things that are scary in a horror game, it's not just that it is a doll. People are scared of dolls coming to life, and it's a lot of nonsense. But I mean, I think the thing that's scary is just anything that is human shaped, right? So if you see a mannequin, mannequins are scary because if you're alone in the dark and then you see a shadow of what could be a person, well, that's scary because it could be a person down there with you. And so a doll is very much the same, but a small person, right? So anything that can look like human shaped is always creepy. That's a cool shot. That's a very cool shot through the back of the eyes. I like the music. All right. Go back down here. E.
I can't wait to paint this. Gonna give it a big mustache.
Oh, she's cute. And what is this collection? I mean, obviously, the bigger the doll, the more human-like shape they are, so even scarier they are. It's very sensitive. The controls are very sensitive. Paintings, another thing that's scary, because it is... You can just literally just have scary imagery on there for no reason. Oh. Well.
Oh goodness, you scared me.
What are you up to, Jeremy?
I have to tell
Love that
someone
accent.
what is going on here. I have to try. You're not one of them, are you? Please tell me, Grace. You're not a spy, are you?
Who's spy?
Them. The others. All of them. No, you're too innocent.
I'm too innocent.
I need to get this letter to my niece. She would understand.
Just give it to the clerk, Mr. Waits, and he'll post it.
No, he could be in on it. What if he won't post my letter?
Then don't make it look like it's one of yours. Here, let me do it.
This guy's a bit paranoid.
Miss Emily Hartwood, Dauphin Street, New Orleans.
New Orleans.
You
New
have
Orleans.
the number? Not sure the postman's gonna find it without... Jeremy? Where'd he go?
Jeremy?
I'll just post it myself then. I'll just take this letter downstairs to the clerk's office myself.
We got a key.
Uh-oh, Cassandra. I'm touching your typewriter.
Who the hell? Oh, it's because it's alone in the dark. Yeah. I'm like, who's Cassandra? Let's go.
Huh?
That was weird.
I already washed my hands today.
Today.
Cassandra should be more careful with her medicine.
What this?
Look at this mess.
Total pigsty. We got the key. Door opened. Glad we got an animation for that. It was absolutely necessary. These statues, what did I tell you? Yeah, very creepy. Because they're human-shaped, kind of. And anything human-shaped is scary in a game, because humans are scary. We need a key. Well, actually, first we need to go down to Mr. Waits or whatever. And that's why they can be scary. And you've got to walk past them all.
Jeremy, what have you done?
What have you done? You should be probably a little bit more scared about what's going on, lady. No, Jeremy, what have you done? You turned this whole place into a jungle. Whoa, ugly frog. Dude, this child is fearless. You push that bear over and then jump on him. Quick time events! We were just talking about this. She's great. I love her. She says absolutely does not give a shit about what's going on. As long as she can get the letter downstairs, it's totally fine. Try and push me. Push me off, you little bastard. Come on, whatever your name is. Grace. Grace, run! Alright, yeah, they're coming. I get it. Frog people.
I suppose this mess pales in comparison to the foyer.
Fix the radio.
Oh, a little night music.
We don't have the key.
Mr. Waits. Hello?
Hello? We don't have the key. Don't really have anything. Might be a key over here. Huh? Oh, there's something here. Oh, I can just go. Okay, well. Makes a lot of sense. The Necronomicon, the Book of the Dead. Bound in human flesh and inked in blood. I don't know if I played Alone in the Dark. I don't remember what it is. I remember Alone in the Dark not being anything like that, if I'm recalling correctly. Well, she got her letter.
Last night I dreamt that my uncle hung himself in the attic. That we were too late. The house looked different, but it was still called Dorsetto.
Oh yeah, she's a real actor, and David Harbour, real actors.
Feels like I've been here before.
It's like what they did with that other series. What's that series of games?
Let's not waste
Dom's
any
been
time.
playing them all on stream.
Yeah, you're right.
Using real
Let's
actors.
go get your uncle, Miss Hartwood.
Which I hate, by the way. I dislike that. Like they don't get to do enough. I mean, what... Can I just say? Yeah, so Alone in the Dark. Let me see what Alone in the Dark is. I don't even remember, because that game is not like Alone in the Dark. Video game series. Yeah. 2005. I just don't remember it. Alone in the Dark 2005. Oh, there was a movie. 2.4 on IMDb and 1% on Rotten Tomatoes. That is so amazing. I gotta watch that. I've got to watch that. I didn't know that existed. It's it's the old survival horror games. That's what they used to look like. They look like, yeah, like really shitty old Resident Evils, basically. And so it's weird. I remember that, the 2008 version. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. So it's more like a bad Silent Hill. Or a Resident Evil style game. Yeah, I remember that. Nothing like what I've just played, might I add. So very, very totally different style of game. Still horror, but everything else is completely different. This adaptation looks a lot more like the... it's a bunch of... You know what? I'm going to check our YouTube channel. We've got playlists. Surely we've got playlists with all those games in it, because Dom has played through like every single one of them this year and maybe a bit of last year. The Quarry, that was one of them. The Quarry video game. Let me bring that up. It's by Supermassive Games. Yeah, so the Dark Pictures, that's it. The anthology, Man of Medan. Yeah, he's played through all of those. All the Dark Pictures anthology, which are basically, they did Until Dawn and The Quarry, but they're also the Dark Pictures anthology. It's like obviously it's an anthology of games, little like horror stories, like one-off horror stories. Pretty cool concept. But they also used like and they had similar kind of thing. You're walking around, you're exploring, you're picking up keys, you're using keys, but you're also making decisions in that game as well of what you're saying to people and things like that. So you're making different choices, and that can affect the outcome, the endings. Very much like something, very much like Until Dawn and those as well, which obviously from the same company. But they also have real actors and actresses in those games, and I've got to say, I think I hate that. I think that's really awful. Remember, so they say that Aladdin from Disney is like the first movie that really pushed to have a real actor in the movie. Robin Williams as the genie, and he's had somewhere in his contract apparently that we can use his voice, but don't put my name on the poster or something. He put like don't push that, oh, it's Robin Williams, you know, it's supposed to be an animated movie with just my voice in there. And that's exactly what Disney did, because Disney are assholes, obviously. So they pushed Robin Williams, and now a bunch of animated movies, instead of getting great voice actors, instead just use real actors like fucking Chris Pratt as Mario or whatever. And it just, don't actors already have enough to do? Aren't they already famous enough? Voice actors have trained to voice act specifically, and actors have trained to act, and I think they're two very, very different skills. And actors already have their own thing going. Let voice actors do what voice actors do best, man. I hate this. Pushing actors, pushing fucking guy from Stranger Things into my video games. I don't want to see him in my video game. I see him on TV. It's just so annoying. It's just, let people do what they do best. Don't be using people's names to try and push a subpar experience or a game. You know what I mean? Just make the game with a unique new character. You can make him look similar or whatever. I don't know. I really despise that. I think it's a bad thing to do. You're stealing a design of, I mean, you're just using a person's face instead of designing a character that, you know, looks a certain way and acts a certain way. And then you just I don't know, you're just kicking out a great voice actor and having fucking Stranger Things actor. I don't know. I just dislike it. I just like the idea of it, as if like they don't have a big enough reach. You know what I mean? They also need to be in games now as well. I'm done with that. But that's not what we were supposed to be talking about. What we were supposed to be talking about is the gameplay, and we were going to rate it. Alone in the Dark. It was pretty nothing, I have to say. Alone, the previous horror game we just played was a very, very short and uninspired experience. This one was a little bit more interesting, but still, I didn't really do much. Walked around, clicked on some things, some spooky things happened, and then it ended. It's more like a walking simulator, you know? Is that what the game's like? Because the old Alone in the Darks were not like that. But that's what it seemed like. It looked like just a walking simulator with spooky things going on. Something like the Quarry and stuff, but at least those, I mean, the Dark Pictures anthology, at least those, you're making decisions as well. And then there are certain QTEs, you know, quick time events and like timed things that you need to do. You need to run back into a burning building. You can choose only to save 1 or 2 things, and you've got to run back out, and you've got to run back in and find them, and things like that, you know. There's like, you're against the clock, you've got to make decisions, and there's little bits of puzzles in there as well. But this seemed to have none of that. It really just had, I clicked on something, it said something, I clicked on something else, it opened a door, I clicked on something, she said something about it, picked up a key. And I just didn't really interact much with the game. Looked very nice, seemed cool enough, but there was just nothing to really go on there, right? Like, where are we getting this gameplay from? This is just a prologue. I mean, is it really a prologue? It really, I mean, it happened, obviously. It's like happening before the game, so it's a prologue in that sense. But in general, is it a prologue? Did it really give us that much context for what's going on? As I'm looking through the screenshots of the actual Alone in the Dark game, and they do look very just, they look nice, but, you know, walking sim style. But then there's a couple of screenshots with the third person camera, Resident Evil style, with, you know, over the shoulder camera with a gun. So maybe there is some of that going on. Maybe there's some fighting. Oh yeah, I see him running around now. Okay, yeah, there's puzzles, some cool set pieces. All right, yeah, no, you know what? This looks fun. The Alone in the Dark looks really fun, 25th of October. This demo was not, really. It didn't do that justice. There's nothing gameplay elements about this prologue that really show off what's going to be in this game by the looks of it. I think I'm going to give it a 2 as well. Probably a higher 2 than the last game, just for the graphical fidelity, and we actually did a little bit more. But and it had, like, you know, the cool things that went on, like the door closed. It was like a forest, for some reason it closed, and then it was a bathroom when you opened it. I always really like stuff like that, but there wasn't really much. There's a couple of audio cues. You know, the frog jump out of the water or whatever, and it's like, why is, or when you walk through the mannequins, they all changed. And I was like, I mean, they were relatively okay jump scares, nothing special, nothing unique. The gameplay wasn't, you know, really there. We didn't really do much, but it was fine, right? So it gets a lower end 2. Alone in the Dark seems to be a very different experience, which I'm happy about. But that makes this kind of a bad demo, really, in general. Like, if it doesn't show what the game's going to be about, if it lasted, you know, 6 minutes and kind of didn't really show us how the game's going to be, barely provided context, you know, as a prologue should do, I assume. So yeah, kind of all over the place with that one. Alone in the Dark. Let's move on. I've been rambling for a while now. I don't like actors in my games, you know. Pedro Pascal playing Joel from The Last of Us. Cool, man. But Joel was a character that they made. They made Joel, and they made him around the character. They made him, you know what I mean? They built that character to tell a story, and then they had someone to portray him. But when you're just putting an actor straight into a game, I just feel like something is lost there. I don't like it, and I feel like you're pushing, hey, David Harbour's in this game, you know, you can use that as a marketing tool instead of, hey, this game's good, look at this, play it. And I don't like that. I don't like the, you know, it's the same thing that happened with Disney. And I feel, you know, you can make a lesser experience. You can make a worse movie and get away with it because there's got big names attached to it, right? Not a fan of that in general. So, up and down on this one. Alone in the Dark, kind of bad demo. Don't really like the actors being introduced. But the actual game itself looks interesting. Probably will be wishlisting that, actually. It looks cool enough. October 25th. But yeah, let's move on. Enough of that.